Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've got my Halloween thing up, but not for long. Don't worry if you don't like that sort of thing. It won't be for long. I just had to say happy today, happy end of October, although it kind of makes me sad because I absolutely love October. And this, I feel like, is the month that flies by the fastest. I would say October and May. And let me know in the chat where you're from, what you're drinking. I have my delicious pumpkin chai here. I'm going to take the lid off and to strain it. Hello, Elisa. I and if you're watching this on replay, I will put the timestamp when to pick it up for the actual content that we're talking about. But I'm super excited. Today, this is like the last day of October, which, makes me sad, but it also makes me excited because then we can start talking about the holidays, which, is one of my favorite topics. I am just a Christmas girl through and through. And let me know, do you love Christmas? Do you love the holidays? Do you love Thanksgiving? In Canada, we have Thanksgiving in October, but this year I didn't. We were away, so I didn't have Thanksgiving yet. So on my other channel, Minimalist Home Living, I'm actually going to be posting a video about Thanksgiving probably next week because tomorrow I'm going to make a turkey dinner and I'm so excited. And I'm doing it like kind of a special way that makes it a lot quicker and easier. And Elise here from Sweden. Got somebody from North Dakota. Linda's here. Elisa, of course, from Alabama, having trout and rice. Love. Ooh, that sounds good. And Amanda from California. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Shakespearean insult mug. Oh my gosh, I want to see that. You're going to have to post that in our group later for sure. So everybody, welcome. And this is the beginning of the holiday season. And a lot of people, they get really stressed by that. And when I was a kid, I loved it. Let me know. Were you a person that just absolutely loved Halloween? Did you love Christmas? Did you love, I'm just going to make this bigger. Nope. I don't want to do that. Did you love Thanksgiving? Did you love all of the things? For me, it's just always been something I've absolutely adored. And I would watch Christmas movies in August. And I would be putting on Christmas music and whatever. And actually, I just have my little fairy lights that I got out because I always get them out just in time for the time change, because that's one thing I don't love. And since I started taking vitamin D, it's actually been so much better because I think I maybe was a bit vitamin D deficient. I'm just going to change that. There we go. So let me know, like, how do you feel about this time of year? Does it make you stressed? And from New Orleans, Mitzi, welcome. And it's funny because it wasn't until I had kids and started to be like, oh my gosh, like there's so much to do. I used to love Halloween and then I started to hate Halloween because I realized suddenly like there was so much to do. So it wasn't until I started doing like these practices I'm going to tell you today where I started to enjoy that again. Like I would start thinking about Halloween costumes for my kids and start talking to my kids about them starting. Oh my gosh, do I have my right microphone? Start talking to my kids about them in the summer. I would say, there we go. That'll be better. Do you want to, what do you want to be? And I would say, like, start getting your stuff together. And I started using my Google Calendar to remind myself of the things that were coming up, which became so, so handy. And then, of course, like Christmas would also be very stressful. And as your kids get older, I think it can be a little bit easier because when they're young, it's a lot of work. Like just the day-to-day life is, like if you're in the trenches right now, you're just doing everything, right? From like helping them with diapers and whatnot. But as they get older, life gets a lot simpler. But when they're young, and even if your kids are grown, there are a lot of things that we can do to make the holidays so much easier. And I have this method that I'm going to tell you guys more about in the weeks and months to come, but it's called the Mighty Method, and this is a way that we can approach everything in life, especially like the things that stress us out, the things that are so busy. And it's triage, simplify, and thrive. And triage because I'm a emergency trained in emergency nurse. I don't work there anymore, but we would like be like, okay, what is like the worst thing that we need to deal with right now? It came from, in war, you'd look at like, okay, so who had a chance at living and they needed like the help right away. And it's the same with when we're looking at things like Christmas and even like decluttering our home. So I love to use this Mighty Method for everything now. And I was like, well, I need to tell people about it. Amanda says, I loved Christmas as a kid. That was me. Um, and and now I feel stressed. I still have Halloween. It has to do with how much I feel on my shoulders. Totally, totally get that. And that's just it. And I remember having that magical feeling that I had at Christmas as a kid, and it started to just sort of like slowly go away. Um, and yeah, I remember just being like full of wonder and full of like excitement and all of these things when I knew Christmas was coming. And then it just slowly got replaced. And I do think a lot of that came with the obligation that I felt. Like the gifts really stressed me out. A lot of you may know that I mean, I give gifts, but I think it's so annoying. I think and I love giving gifts and I love receiving gifts. What bothers me is the obligation that a lot of people feel when it comes to gifts. And where it's like, I always just think like my mom, like, what are you getting so and so? What are you getting? I have to go shopping. I have to this. I have to that. And that's not actually how I think that we should be looking at such a wonderful thing. Like I'm a Christian and Christmas is about so much. And even if you're not a Christian, it might be more about family for you. And I think that if we're letting the materialism of having to give gifts like interfere with the family and all of that, then there's a really big problem. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you before we go on, I'm drinking delicious pumpkin chai tea and I just love it. And it's something I basically drink from like August to January. So I thought this is not good. I am so not enjoying myself. I'm having such a stressful time this Christmas. I'm wiping the lipstick off my mug. And I feel so behind. It was like December 22nd. And there you go, Stacy. Stacy says, my boss always gives me something I don't want. So I feel obligated to give her something. And that's just it. Like, I think it's so often we can say to people like, hey, why don't we just like not give gifts? Or why don't we share our favorite recipe or do a cookie exchange or something? Like I like that. Uh, and I do like to give gifts. Like I want to give my mom a gift. Her love language is gift giving. My husband's love language is gift giving. One of my son's love language is gift giving. So gifts are important to them. And I recognize that we show people love in their love language, right? So that one December 22nd, and I remember being like, I didn't cook all the cookies I wanted to. I feel like I still haven't got all the stocking stuffers I need to. And the biggest thing was I felt behind on the things that were like experiences that I enjoyed. Like I said, I didn't make the cookies I want to like that. And nobody in my family was upset but me. And I didn't get to watch all the Christmas shows I wanted to watch. Actually, I'm going to grab my thing here. What is it? I was just filming with it. I don't know. Where's my book? I have my little book. I'll grab it in a minute. It must be in the other room. I was just filming with it yesterday. But I realized like, oh my gosh, like how could I do this better? And what I did was I employed my method, the triage, the simplify, and the thrive. So what I did was I stepped back. So for you, what could you do? you could triage. So look, and I like to break it down into like 5 areas. Commitment. So looking at, and so by assessing, when I say triage, and then we're going to put them in order of like most importance, but like commitments. What commitments do you have? Right? What do you foresee coming? Maybe you have a job where you have to go to the Christmas party. Like my sister-in-law Colette, who we all love here. She is the person that plans the Christmas party. She organizes it for her work and she needs to be there. So that for her is like unless one of the kids is in the hospital, she's got to go to that, right? Um so commitment. For me, commitment is I we have like Christmas Day. I've really pared it down. Okay. Christmas Day. It used to be like a kids' Christmas concert, but our school doesn't really do that, which is funny. But kids' Christmas concert. And we always go to Victoria to look at this beautiful light thing at the Butch Art Gardens on the south part of Vancouver Island. BC's capital. And so for me, like those are like the main commitments. But what commitments can we get rid of? We're going to go to the next section, which is simplify. So I won't go through all of it. But so when I look at the commitments, I go like, okay, so what can I simplify? So we're going to limit the events and focus on what we have to do, right? And most importantly, like what is going to be the most meaningful because you only have so many Christmases in your life. So what are the top things you want to do? So for me, Christmas Day, and it is the trip to Victoria, right? Like those are like the things that I want to have as far as commitments go. So let me look at the chat and you put in the chat, like, what are your commitments? And if you're watching this later, put in the comments, like, what commitments do you have? Oh, and there's a handbook. Actually, I'll put it in here because I'm going to show you how to figure this out for yourself in a bit. So I'll just put that there. So one, yeah. Annalise says for Christmas dinner, we share a list of dishes. So Annalise in Sweden, which I think is just awesome. So we eat and we know it's basically like a potluck, which I like. She says, but everything else, cleaning, decorating, make room for everyone. That stresses me totally. Nancy says, my mom felt the need to do the whole Thanksgiving Christmas meals, but she didn't like to cook. It always seemed like so much work for not a lot of return. Right? Like that's just it. And if you don't like to cook, so let's get to that. So when we get to commitments, we've got simplify or triage. So we decided like what is it that we have that is on the list? Simplify. What are we actually going to do? Like removing the stuff we don't want. And then thrive. So that is where we systematize things. So basically you can set annual traditions and that's what we have. Like for us, it's Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. Actually, I should say we do have a tradition there. So our tradition on Christmas Eve is usually we share a bottle of fizzy wine between my husband, my mom, and I. I don't even know if we will this year because, like, seriously, I feel hungover after one drink, and I only have like 3 drinks a year. So is it worth it? But then we watch It's a Wonderful Life and or Die Hard. Well, no, we definitely watch both movies. It's just a matter of when. So that is it. Triage, simplify, thrive. So the next thing of Christmas, let's look at well, I've got task, stuff, budget, and energy. All right. So let's talk about tasks. This is the thing that is stressing everybody out. So tasks, look at all of the, I'm going to go get my book. Don't go anywhere. I will be back in like 10 seconds. I don't know where I put my book. It's driving me crazy. My little Christmas book. I just had it yesterday. Where is it? Oh my gosh. What is wrong with me? It was there the whole time. What is wrong with me? Okay. Yeah. So if we're going to look at commitments or tasks, all right. So for tasks, let me see here. Okay. I put down so this is my book, and that's like that thing that I just shared with you. This will help you make a book like this, which makes it so much easier. Hi, Roxanne from Atlanta. Let me see. I guess I'll have it basically down. Like getting out wrapping supplies, baking, looking at the budget, decorating, planning, cleaning, cooking. They're just like getting the wrapping paper, shopping for stuff. All of that can be so stressful, right? So, in the triage part of what you're doing, get a book like this, or like just write it out on a piece of paper, download this, which will help you so much. Like I have it all written there for you. And you're going to write down the whole list of things that you feel like you need to do. And then, hi, Lisa. And then we're going to simplify it. So, going through that list, is there anything that you need to remove? Now, that is so handy because then you can just say like, "Hey, you know what? I can maybe remove this, or better yet, I can delegate it." If you have kids, husband that can help you, delegate it. Now, I have always been so bad at being like, "Oh, I'm the person that does this and this and this." Like right now, I have a son that loves to bake. Why wouldn't I get, or like loves to cook and bake? Why wouldn't I get his help for some of this? On those days where you're busy and like there's a kid's Christmas concert, or you've got like a work thing. Why not get your teenage son to make dinner? Or, and if your kids are really little, I totally get it. That can challenge things, but that's when maybe you can do a bit of pre-planning for meals and stuff, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, as for tasks, that like delegating that. And then, like I said, we can pre-plan, batching things. This is where we're planning. That's why we're talking about it today on October 31st. What is it that you can write out? You have like, this is the gift of time, because say you're like, this is going to be really busy during these certain times. Maybe I'm going to make some freezer meals. Maybe I'm going to freeze dry some meals. I love my freeze dryer, or do some canned meals. I love my canned meals. And that sort of thing can save you time because you have triaged. You've looked at the things you need to do and then you simplified them. So, another thing, of course, is then we want to thrive. I love the systematizing of things. And that's where we make our checklist for next year. This year, you might be like, oh my gosh, no, no, no. Because next year, you will already have all of this written out. And I have things scheduled into my Google Calendar that remind me every year to buy my favorite soap, because I love like my Mrs. Myers. Is that the one? Soap. And I love my favorite like chocolates that I like to order and things like that. So having that planned in my calendar where I'm like, oh, I need to remember, I said like I would have like talking to the kids about Halloween in like September or August. Then I'd be like, hey, what do you want to be for Halloween? And then we can start looking at it. And if they want to like go look at Pinterest and do something cool, we can start buying things, which can be super helpful. So creating the checklist is great for, first of all, helping you during the actual season, and then pre-planning for the future. So, and, I use my planner here for, my day-to-day like life planning and for my business and everything. And I just have it and I just check it off as I do it. And it makes life so easy because I just don't have to do a lot of thinking. Let me look at the chat. Hello, Ms. Drake and Brenda. Amanda, I do all the cooking usually for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day meals to accommodate every family member's schedule. I'm bad at delegating. So if you are bad at delegating in that, and if you're the type that doesn't want others to do it, which I understand, I would suggest doing a little pre-cooking. Maybe you could make your stuffing ahead of time and freeze it. I'm actually going to like test freeze drying some stuffing, but you could even cook. You know what I love is like Jamie Oliver's make ahead gravy or whatever. I love that. In fact, I was going to do that today because I'm making my Thanksgiving tomorrow. But these things can be great. Like, what can you do ahead of time, Amanda? And can you delegate anything? Like, even like getting family members to peel potatoes. Maybe something simple like that. That's a good thing for kids. Now, let's get to one or two more areas. And that is stuff. Here, I'll take that off. I just wanted to share that I have that book available to help you make your own little book here. And then I'll share a little bit more about it because I love my book. But so now let's get to stuff. So we're going to triage the stuff. Like number one, I'm a big fan of decluttering the house. Like I just did the clear it out challenge in my own home where I decluttered like pretty much every day. And that helps because that makes it so much easier to keep my house clean and it makes it easier to decorate. So evaluating your decorations and maybe even your gift traditions because we're talking about stuff. So you could have a tea with your sister or your mom. And just be like, hey, so what are we going to do this year? Because as more and more kids enter the family, that can complicate things. In our family, quite often we would just have the adults buy for one other adult. Like we would draw names or we'd have like the kids draw for other kids. Like, let me know in the chat what you guys do. So looking at gifts, another great thing would be to like be chatting to people now, which I need to talk because I've got teenagers and they are hard to buy for sometimes. So saying like, what do you want? My mom, God bless her, she sent me a text the other day of what she wants for Christmas, which was so nice. I was like, that's awesome. Hey, Meg. Meg's here. There we go. Let's put I'll just leave it off. Okay. So we've triaged. We have looked at the stuff. We've evaluated the decorations and the gift traditions. Now we're going to simplify. So we've identified what's important. Now we're going to simplify. So use the essentials. And when you're decorating, here's a little tip that I just like one year was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put away a bunch of my other stuff in the decorations box. So there's not so much stuff around because I used to not do that. And then this just made it so much easier. So that's what I do now. So, and when you decorate for Christmas, what you don't put out, consider, am I actually going to use this next year? Why didn't I put this out? Is this old? Is this kind of broken or whatever? A great time to donate stuff to thrift stores would be like in the next couple months for sure. Probably before Christmas would be the nicest thing to do so they don't have to store it. And yeah, like when you're in the simplify phase, look at trying to avoid buying new Christmas stuff. Or if you're buying new Christmas stuff, decluttering some other Christmas stuff. And I am going to do a video coming up in the next few weeks about shopping during this time of year because there's so many sales and we can really get caught up. Now you can be really strategic with it. And that's where having lists comes in. And I really like that. So we've got triage, we've simplified our stuff, and now we are going to thrive. And that is, of course, like the systemizing the storage with our stuff. So, like I said, putting away the decorations in the box and having gift ideas. I want to do one more. So I'm not going to talk about budget. Well, I'll quickly say budget. Okay. So I'll do all five. So budget, you're just going to look at your budget, right? And make some decisions and simplify it, setting limits, right? Choosing thoughtful over costly. So handy. And then thrive, use a dedicated holiday fund. We actually have that on, I guess I won't show you my budget, but in our You Need a Budget app, YNAB, I love it. And I save for Christmas all year because again, just like when I said, I was so overwhelmed to that one Christmas with the stuff I hadn't done. Every Christmas I'd be overwhelmed with how much stuff was costing. So it was really nice to be like, hey, how about we just like know that this is going to cost money? And I added up how much we spent on things, thought maybe we can cut in a few areas. So that's really handy. Now let me look here. Nancy says, I'm donating a bunch of ornaments this week. Good for you. And Stacy says, over the years, my aesthetic has changed, but I still have some of the older decorations. Totally. I'm taking them to my kids for Thanksgiving to see what they want. I love that. And when I say old decorations, I love old decorations. I'm talking like I got some cheap ones at Walmart one year when I was single because I still wanted to decorate. Lisa says, last year we put Christmas away in where they go in the house. Yes, I did that. I do that in my dining room. I'm hoping this will help me feel less overwhelmed when decorating this year. That's a great idea. I love that. So the last area in our mighty method for simplifying our Christmas is energy. And I think this one is so important. So, first of all, like take a step back and ask yourself what you want this holiday season, this Christmas to feel like for you. Like for me, I just love the peaceful feeling I have. I start now so that I can really enjoy December. I do the bulk of the work in November, a little bit in October, and I like a little bit in December, obviously. But I start my baking in the middle of November. And I start my I try to get most of my holiday shopping done on Black Friday if at all possible. But if not, I get things done in between. I like to get things done early, and um I'll show you my book after. But just ask yourself, like, what do you want out of this Christmas season? Some people, they just want to like for it to go over. And I get that. What could you do to make that better? Could you book yourself a spa day? My friend actually did that one Christmas day because she didn't have her son. So she went to do like some saunaing and stuff like that. So we're going to do the same method, triage. So note, as far as your energy goes, what drains you and what gives you energy, right? So what drains you for energy? I'm gonna fix my eyebrows. Maybe it's certain social gatherings. For me, that would be pretty much it, right? Or maybe it's cleaning. Maybe it's dealing with all the stuff, all of the clutter, right? So triage that, assess it. Next, simplify. Schedule some downtime and self-care. Self-care. Removing those things that you don't need to do, like we talked about before, commitments, things that you don't need to do in your house that you used that maybe you felt like you had to. So really important though, schedule that downtime and that self why can't I talk? Self-care. Put it in your calendar. And then thrive. So systematize it. Build in rest. Focus on joy-filled moments. The most important thing. Let's see. And Lisa says, I gave all my ornaments to friends who still put up Christmas trees. Now I get lots of emails with photos. Oh, isn't that nice? They show where the ornaments are on the trees. And Meg says, I always say I will start baking early and don't do it. I should sit down and write it out today. Yeah. So let me show you. Let's talk about baking real quick. So I have in here, I've got my favorite baking list. Maybe I need a nap. Actually, I do need a nap. But I've got like shortbread. I'm not going to list the whole list, but shortbread, Pioneer Woman Jello. Look it up. Christmas Jello is good. Gingerbread, like a bunch of things on here. Now I don't need to make all of these, but what's great is I have this list to draw upon. And I also have I have on here pantry supplies. So things that I need to have in my pantry to make this season run nice and smooth, whatever I have to do. You could also then make like a checklist for things you even need for Christmas dinner. If you did that today, that would make Christmas dinner much easier because then when you're shopping, like right before Christmas, you can like quickly look over and be like, yeah. Another thing I have is like, as far as like fun and downtime goes, like I have my favorite Christmas music on here. I also have a Christmas playlist that I love. And I'm actually getting kind of tired of it, but I like it. I might need to modify it. And then I've got like basically things I need to phone about, like changing the tires, This is like, also for winter. I've got like booking the hotel for Victoria. I already did that because I had that written down for October 1st. Christmas lights, November 1st. Um, Wreaths. I make a wreath, and I don't have to. A lot of this is just, and this is where the triage comes in. Like I also have favorite shows and movies, and I put check YouTube because some things aren't available, but they actually are on YouTube, which is nice. But I have like the full list. Look at that list of Christmas shows that I love. And I know I'm missing some, but how nice is that to say, like, because I don't know if you've ever said in your family, like, oh, we didn't watch this or we didn't watch that. I've got favorite snacks to have in the house, like make this, and I'll just put the link again. So this will just help you make your own list. Christmas snacks. And then when you're doing your shopping, you can make sure that you have that on there, like for your pantry items. So I do my pantry shop pretty quick because I'm going to start baking in the next couple weeks. So that's really handy. And then like I've added to it, like I added Post-its. So my favorite snacks list is gone. And then like stuff I need for turkey dinner. I don't make like a huge turkey dinner, but that's really handy. Liquor to have on hand. I wouldn't really need a lot of it though, because it's like basically just my husband, my mom, and I, and we barely drink. But recipes. So I have like my mother-in-law's sausage roll recipe. I've got vanilla crunch, shortbread critters, like all of these yummy, yummy things. Now, when we go to gifts, oh, they are just the bane of my year. But I just have the people we're buying for written down, and then I put a Post-it here. Like I've got Post-its from last year there too, which is helpful, right? Because then I can say like, what did I give? For extended families, there's like chocolate, depending on who we're going to see, which is really handy. And this book has saved me and made the holidays so enjoyable. So just use this link if you want to make your own, or you can just wing it. Just look at the things that you want to get done and write it out. It just makes so much difference. Like this video. Thank you, Miss Drake. Like this video, please. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give a little channel update because somebody asked the other day when I made my video about stopping my podcast. So I'll give a little channel update and then ask any questions you have. That's my like full Christmas presentation because I'm excited. Actually, yesterday, like I said, I was filming with my book, which I thought I had left in the rest of the house, but I hadn't. And because I like to do my filming ahead of time because it's a lot of work. And anyway, so I just was in the mood, and my least favorite Christmas song, you tell me yours, is Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. But I actually was like enjoying it. Like this is a year where I'm so excited about Christmas coming. And one of the things that I think has made the biggest difference, like I used to dread the time change. And I'm not excited about the time change, but I used to dread it. I really think the vitamin D has made all the difference. I had it tested and then corrected, and now it's great. And I got some vitamin D3 with K2 in the mail from AG1. So I haven't been using it with K2, and now I'm like, okay, like maybe this will make a difference. So anyway, I think that the vitamin D has made me not dread the dark as much. Isn't that the worst song? I use the book pages that you created. They're so helpful. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, that was the whole point. No. Okay. So Elisa, I only foster kittens in the summer, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you a couple reasons. So first of all, the first batch of kittens, was it the first batch? I think the first batch we ever fostered, it was right before Christmas. And oh my gosh, like my own cats leave the trees alone. That's right. Trees. And My these kittens did not, and I'm gonna get to the channel update in a second. These kittens did not. They were such a little terror. The other thing is the bathroom where we keep them, which is, like, right next door here, the door needs to be kept open so that the heat doesn't run like, it's a whole thing. So, I can't have kittens, and I basically will have them from April, May until the end of August. That's what I've decided is the best thing that works for us. Vitamin D. Yes, vitamin D is so important for so many things, not only for your bones, but for your mental health and for your immunity, right? Yeah, that's a bad one too. Ugh. And I also don't like Santa Baby. Ugh. Okay, so channel update. So I stopped doing the podcast because it just was that one extra thing that I just did not like. When you do a podcast, you really have to promote it. And I just was like, I don't want to do that. And I already do like sort of a chatty video on my other channel, Minimalist Home Living, where I'm doing cooking and food prep and like a bit of cleaning. So please go and check out over there. That is my new, like, my that's where if you wanna feel like we're hanging out, you should go because we are. And we are, like, doing some stuff, so that's fun. So anyway, that's where I'm, like, just chatting about life and the stuff and all the things. So it seemed kind of redundant, but also, like, I couldn't reuse the audio a lot of the time because I was talking about, like, what I was doing sometimes in the video too. Good, I'm glad you like it, I'm glad you like it. Um so and then on this channel last year, there were some issues, and I think bots were involved. Nobody exactly knows what is going on with that particular thing. I literally don't even want to say it because there's so many like AI things that scan these videos. I just, you just gotta be careful now. So anyway, but I feel like I almost lost this channel. Like, it was crazy. I was devastated. So many of you were here, so supportive, so kind. Um, and it was just like, yeah, it was really rough. I don't know if I still have videos. I'm trying not to um my reach wasn't good and other things were going on where a lot of YouTubers had been affected by this sort of like it was either a glitch or it was an attack or it was some kind of a bot thing or a mixture. I don't know. But YouTube wasn't able to help. And it's resolved now, I think, which is really nice because I love this channel and I love the content. And I started the other channel because I wanted to continue doing YouTube. I mean, I love it. Like, if I became a bazillionaire, I would still do YouTube because it's just so fun and I love it so much. So I started the other one and was kind of making very similar content. And now that this channel is recovered, I'm really happy because on the other channel, I can do the food preservation, food cooking, because that's what I do every weekend for fun because my house is like manageable now. So that's why it's Minimalist Home Living. So you can check that out and I'll link it below here. And I also have a new fun Tidy Mighty club, I think we might call it. Tidy Mighty Club, Tidy Mighty team, trying to come up with the right name. I put it on a video earlier this week trying to get some help. But that I'm going to be opening up in a couple of months and it's going to be really fun. And that's where we're going to be using a lot of this method, the triage, simplify, and thrive. So like looking at every area of our homes and our lives where we're like losing a lot of stuff or like losing a lot of time and energy and then simplifying it and then creating systems so that it's so much easier to live with. So that will be opening in a few months. You can get on the wait list for that at minimalisthome.ca/tidywait. I'll just put that in the chat too. And that's you're obviously not obligated to anything, but then I will tell you what to do. Then I will, you'll be the first to know when it goes live so you can get in on it because it's going to be fun and there's going to be like some real benefits to joining early. Tidy Mighty Mice. That's a fun one too. I like it. I like it. So the good news is like this channel is staying and I'm just so happy with how it's doing. And the other one is just so fun. It's just my like relaxing project. And, it's and then, like, the membership is just, like, feels so calm and so relaxing and just, like, such a easier way of doing things. I don't like the 12 Days of Christmas. It does. I like the Bob and Doug McKenzie version, which skips a bunch, and it's much more entertaining. Oh my gosh. Do you guys have any questions while we're hanging out about, like, Christmas, about decluttering, about whatever? Like, come ask me any questions. I'm just loving my tea today. Mm. One important thing I should mention too is, like, as we're getting ready for this holiday season, and I already said, like, reflect on, like, why you wanna do that, but build in that rest. Like, when you're making your schedule, and I really do suggest making a schedule. Even if you think you're not busy, just make one. It's so helpful to get things done, especially if you feel like you forget things a lot. I know I certainly do. Um, but building in those rest days and making it something that you're not going to compromise on. Another thing I think is really helpful is getting exercise, um, like going for walks and stuff. I actually have a walking treadmill here that I use when I'm working. It is amazing. Like, I am getting like 10 to 12,000 steps a day. And I don't walk on it all day. I just like will walk on it for a couple half hour segments a day. But anyway, so getting that exercise will help so much with the stress and your mood, your mental health. Um, Eating well, because so often at Christmas and the holidays, there's a lot more indulgences, which is great, but the rest of your meals, it's awesome if they're, like, super healthy, so trying to plan around that. If we don't use Facebook, are we out of the club? I'm trying to figure that out because I'm not a Facebook lover. Like, I will be 100% clear. I've had some people who were like, "Well, um, I don't use it." So join the waitlist anyway, because I'm trying to decide what to do about that, because you just wouldn't get the community. Like, you could still get the videos. There will be, like, weekly videos and, like, a monthly live stream, so, like, we can hang out, because that's, like, the biggest thing I miss about not having when I don't have, like, a group coaching going, or, I've had, um times where I've, like, offered memberships before and I didn't have, like, and I had this is why I'm starting it again, and I was like, "I don't think I'll ever stop it because I need the Zoom calls. I need to see your faces and to talk to you guys." Makes me so sad. So I'm not sure, because I don't love Facebook. I There's a lot of things I don't love about it. What I will say is my friend Lindsay, who a lot of you know, who's the relationship coach, go check out her channel, Loving with Intention, but she only has Facebook for groups, because there are, like, a certain groups that she's in that she has Facebook for, like, this fitness program that the community is in Facebook, and, there's a couple others. Like, there are ones that I'm in for, like, blogging, because I have my blog. I forgot to mention I have a blog, minimalisthome.ca. um, and the it's good for that. So, I mean, I don't love it. I actually don't have it on my phone, and I go on it on my computer. So, consider, like, let me know. Oh, actually, that's great, because I was going to ask about that question. How would I phrase it? So, if you were to join a membership, Um, first of all, would Facebook be a deal breaker for you? Would you possibly consider, like, you could say, I would possibly consider joining, and I'm not gonna feel like you have to. But the problem with that is that if I had there's a great platform called Circles. I think it's called Circles. It's or Circle is one of the two. And I like it. Like, I'm in a couple of communities with it for, like, the blog platform that I'm on, like a different one, and, like, this other thing. But the thing is, I don't remember to check it. If I'm in a Facebook group, I will see it more likely. So let me know your thought. Nancy says, partner has a big tote of fancy ornaments that we haven't put up in a couple of years. I think he'd be okay to donate it, but I'm not. So are you he has a big tote of fancy ornaments you haven't put up in a couple of years. I think that what you could also Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, Elisa. I think, Nancy, that if you, um, sorry, I'm just distracted there. As for the ornaments, I think that would you ever put them up? If you think you'd never put them up, what good is keeping them, right? Um, Thanks, Kim. And you're one of the people I miss talking to. Just be and anybody else who's never joined, I would have missed talking to you if I've never seen you before. But anyway, sorry, my ADHD brain just goes. Pew, 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 pew. So, Nancy, what I would suggest is, first of all, why is it hard for you to let go of those Christmas ornaments if they're not yours? If the Are they valuable? Are they sentimental to you? Because the thing is, sometimes things are sentimental and we don't have to get rid of them. However, I would suggest really asking yourself if it's worth keeping them if you're never going to put them up, or could you put them up? It's been a several depressing years here. Yes, I know you've had a lot of deaths in your family as well. So the other thing is, like, just because you're not putting them up this year, perhaps you would next year. Now, that is not normally what I would say for most things when people are looking at decluttering, but I know you're also about to move. But could you see a time in the next year or 2 where you would use them? If not, I really would suggest decluttering them. If they're super sentimental, like, why wouldn't you decorate with them? I think would be the bigger thing. Like that tree, which wouldn't hold anything, but some people have plants that they decorate, that could be really helpful too. Okay. Oh, I guess I'll put that up one more time. To join the wait list for the group coaching, or sorry, not group coaching, for the fun new Tidy Mighty membership, Tidy Mighty Club, Tidy Mighty Team. See, when I say Tidy Mighty Team, I think I like Tidy Mighty Team the most personally, although I do like Club. But when I say Tidy Mighty Team, I think it's like, hooray, we're on the team. But then I think if I were to say, like, join the Tidy Mighty Team, it might make it seem like I was trying to get you to, like, come and join the business. Like, I don't want to confuse people. Like, if I was like, join Team Starbucks, right? Anyway, so let me know. Yeah, so check that out. If you're wanting to simplify your Christmas, go ahead and get the holiday handbook there. It's free. It just will help you make your own little book here to make things simple. I am so glad you came today. This is so fun. Tidy Mighty Mob. Lisa, you're always so good. Bethany likes Tidy Mighty Team too. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. You guys are the best. I love hanging out with you. I just love it. So have a great Halloween. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for joining. And I will see you